Welcome back to Adams Field, where it's halftime. Wayne State leads Northern Michigan 21-17. I am pleased to be joined by the men's and women's cross-country coach, the one and only Grant Lofdahl, who, by the way, is the bravest man I know because the temperature's dropped about 10 or 15 degrees since kickoff, and this man is wearing shorts.
Absolutely. Cross-country coaches have to be hardy.
I'm going to hear about that from Rod and Joe complaining about the weather, but first things first, congratulations. Both your teams, the men's and women's teams, are ranked. What's it mean to have both of them ranked at this stage of the season?
It's very exciting for us. I think we're both in the top 20 right now on each side, and that reflects the season that we've had to this point and what other folks across the country think of our potential, I think, down the road. And honestly, we think that we can be better than our current ranking on both the men's and women's side by the end of the season when it's all said and done.
I've got to ask, you coach not just one, not just two, not just three, but 4 different teams here at Wayne State. Now, most coaches, like Paul Winters, Brian Smothers, they coach one team. First of all, I hope you get paid a lot of money. Second of all, what are some of the difficulties and maybe some of the challenges of being a coach of 4 different teams here?
Well, we don't have a traditional off season like a lot of other sports. So we're going, basically our women's cross-country runners are going nonstop from beginning to end of the school year. They're the only team that's in that situation, but they're very much used to it. Our men's team also does as well. They're training just as much as the women's team throughout the year. It's just a little bit different setup in the spring with track season for the guys, but for the coaching staff, we love it. We love our jobs, and we're more than happy to put in the work throughout the entire school year that it takes to be successful.
Your men's and women's team came off a pretty good finish at the Lansing Community College Invitational recently. You had 3 runners, at least on the men's side, finish in the top 20. How good was it to have a strong finish like that? You've had a strong finish as well at the Lock Haven Invitational.
Yeah, we did. The last 2 weekends have both been good for us. Lock Haven, we took the full roster over to Pennsylvania last week and competed against some very solid teams, Division 1, 2, 3, all levels, and came out second place on both sides. Then our B squads in the second race both came out on top, so our depth was the strongest of any team at the meet. And then our B squads as well went to the Lansing meet that you mentioned yesterday, came out with a lot of top 15 finishes and awards, and second place for the men's, third place for the women, and very excited about where we're at top to bottom on our roster right now with our depth.
Talk about top to bottom. How important is it to have that kind of depth, especially in a long season like you have?
It's very important. We found that out firsthand last year. Our men's team, our top 7 for the men, our varsity group, from the beginning of the season to the national meet at the end was very different. We had some illnesses and injuries pop up during the season, and we really needed all of our depth when it came down to it. And to still come out and finish where we did, 15th in the country last year, that's why we want that depth, and we want to take good care of every single athlete. We've got 23 people on the roster on each side for cross country, and all 23 matter. All 23 push the next person ahead of them every day in practice.
Grant, you got a deep team. We just talked about that. Your teams are ranked. How gratifying is it to see your teams being recognized nationally, and this program being recognized nationally as one of the best programs in the country?
It's very gratifying. From where we came from 5-6 years ago when I started, it's just amazing to see where we're at right now. And we're definitely not done. We've still got pretty young teams on both sides. We've got freshmen, sophomores contributing to both of our varsity groups. So it's just a continual building process. And where we're at right now, having both, I think there's 12 teams in Division 2 that have both men and women in the top 25 in the country, and we're one of those 12. So that says a lot right there. We're very happy to be where we're at.
So what's next for the men's and women's cross-country teams?
We are heading to Pennsylvania was last week. We're heading over to Wisconsin, to Kenosha, Wisconsin Parkside next week. They're hosting the regional meet in a month or so. So there's an invitational at their course. We're going to preview the regional course and get a look at that. It'll be a great competition for us in terms of the teams we're competing with. We'll take our top 9 athletes on both sides there, and it should be the best competition that we've seen so far this year.
And the GLIAC Invitational is going to be here, correct? Or at least you're hosting it.
Correct. We have our home invitational coming up on October 22nd, the Warrior Challenge, and then the GLIAC tournament conference meet is on November 4th, both at Willow Metro Park, right down the road off I-275. So we haven't hosted GLIACs in quite a while. We're very excited about that. I'm hoping to see a lot of Warrior fans out there.
Grant Lofdahl, thanks a lot for the time. Grant Lofdahl is the men's and women's track coach. 4 jobs, guys. 4. That's 2 more than me. That's 2 more than Rod, and it's 4 more than Joe. So just be aware of that. Grant, thanks a lot for the time.
Thank you very much, Tony.
We are at halftime. Wayne State leads Northern Michigan here at Adams Field 21-17. The second half with Rod and Joe. Coming up next, stay with us.